Meaning-Focused Therapy Techniques for Adults Approaching End of Life, A Guide for Therapists, by Naomi Epps Best. Aging. It unites us all. From the moment of our conception lies before us a journey that will inevitably come to an end. If we're lucky, we'll find in aging grace and wisdom, navigating its challenges with fortitude, and an appreciation for the unraveling of our life story. When you look back, you'll probably wonder, did I live a meaningful life? Erik Erikson, 20th century psychologist, argues this is the most fundamental question one wrestles with in old age. If you're fortunate, you'll look back with acceptance, feeling a sense of success and gained wisdom. On the other hand, approaching the end can lead to a sense of despair and hopelessness for some, even leading to depression. According to a Medicare and Medicaid survey including over 175,000 elderly adults, 10% of those over 65 years old surveyed indicate diagnostic characteristics for major depressive disorder. In fact, when controlling for age and race, the numbers are even more jarring. 13% of adults over the age of 85 meet the diagnostic criteria, 16% of African Americans, and a shocking 25% of those marking one or more Hispanic backgrounds. As therapists, what can we do to address depression in elderly adults? In your practice, you may consider meaning-focused therapy. This evidence-based practice has three primary goals: increase meaning, spiritual well-being, and quality of life. The basic tenets of MCT come from Viktor Frankl, psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, an autobiographical recounting of his experiences as an Auschwitz prisoner, and also an expository of his psychotherapeutic approach, known as logotherapy. We all have a vague idea, but how does Frankl understand meaning? Number 4, your understanding of your past, present, and future legacy. Number 3, your connection to life through work, hobbies, and other activities. Number 2, your connection to life through art, humor, nature, love, and relationship. Number 1, your attitude. Frankl believes, and experienced, that no matter the gravest of circumstances, the indomitable human spirit can persist. We have the choice how to react in any situation and can choose to make meaning, even when confronted with life's unimaginable hardships. He also believes we share a universal latent motivation to find meaning in one's life. Though it may be tampered by everyday pleasures, survival instinct, and other wills, the yearning to discover meaning exists deep down in each one of us. Meaning-centered therapy builds on these tenets and proposes there are three primary needs for meaning: the need to make sense of human existence, make sense of events, and the need to create personal meaning in daily life. So as a meaning-centered therapist, it is your job to help your client construe meaning through their cognitive processes, discover meaning through their reflections, and create meaning through their activities. What does this look like in practice? Well, researchers at Memorial Sloan Kettering have applied these ideas to develop the standardized MCP intervention, which has been scientifically verified and can be used in both group and individual therapy settings. MCP was manualized and studied for those suffering a cancer diagnosis. But given the universality of MCP's tenets, I propose it can be used for anyone facing end-of-life issues. First, therapist and the client will discuss concepts and sources of meaning. The therapist will ask the client how they define meaning and explore experiences and moments in their life that felt meaningful. The therapist will then provide psychoeducation on Frankl's definition of meaning and see how it resonates. Then, you can discuss the client's identity and how it has evolved into their old age. Explore multiple responses to the question, "Who am I?" Next, you will discuss historical sources of meaning and their past legacy. Ask the client how their past memories, relationships, traditions, and so on have affected their sense of self. Then transition to discussing the client's present and future legacy. What activities, roles, or accomplishments is he most proud of? Now, focus on the client's attitudinal sources of meaning. In other words, he will directly confront the limitations posed by aging. Once he has accepted the inevitable prognosis, he will consider, what would be a good or meaningful death? Next, transition to the present. Focus on creative sources of meaning and how to engage in life fully. What is the client responsible for? Now explore experiential sources of meaning. How does the client connect to life through love, nature, art, and humor? Finally, transition to the client's reflections, lessons, and hopes for the future before and after the client is gone. Let's turn to an example. George is an 85-year-old man with a terminal cancer diagnosis. His wife passed away last year, and his 2 children live 30 minutes away. They're busy with their own careers and families and can only visit him a couple of times per week. He's struggling with depressive symptoms, including loss of interest in activities, sleep disturbances, and suicidal ideation.
George, last session we discussed the moments of your life that felt most meaningful and your identity as it is presently. You said your relationships with your grandchildren have brought you the greatest source of meaning since your wife's passing, and your identity as a grandfather is very strong. It's difficult because your children can't visit regularly, and your grandchildren are busy with their school and extracurricular activities. I'm wondering what has historically brought you a sense of meaning prior to your identity as a grandfather. Do you have any memories, relationships, or traditions that have shaped how you view yourself?
Carol and I were married for nearly 60 years. She was my anchor, and raising our children gave me purpose. Being a husband and father defined me. My time in the Marines gave me a sense of duty that carried into my career as an engineer. I felt a sense of belonging and took pride in serving. Fishing was my escape. My father taught me when I was a boy. Family traditions, especially during the holidays, kept me grounded. But with my diagnosis, I just can't do what I used to. Those roles and identities seem to be slipping away.
George, I hear the groundedness in your voice when you discuss these roles and experiences. It's clear that your life has been rich in love, duty, and purpose, from your marriage and fatherhood to your service in the Marines and your career. It's also moving to hear how you found peace in fishing as both a man and as a boy, and in your historical family traditions. These are powerful connections to both your past and your future. As you reflect on these earlier roles, I wonder how they might continue to bring you a sense of purpose and connection in the time ahead. What lessons from these experiences are most important to carry forward, both for yourself and for children and grandchildren? Is there a way you could honor these parts of your identity even now?
Well, I think the values of duty, love, and resilience are really the most important to me, and I hope I can hold on to them as I near the end. My experience as a Marine taught me the importance of perseverance and bravery, and I want to show my kids and grandchildren I can be brave even in this situation. The love Carol and I shared building and raising our family is at the core of who I am, and I know that my kids will pass that love and joy down on to their kids. I see it every time they visit. Mostly, I just want my family to know that even though I won't be here much longer, they can carry on the love and lessons I've shared with them over the years. In a sense, it gives me some comfort.
Thank you for listening. For more information about how to apply meaning-centered therapy techniques to your practice, you can explore the treatment manual written by William Breitbart and Shannon Pepito.